Networking is the best way to get a job in the space sector. But do you know how to network for space events? Find out how you can make the most of your networking at space events with these 5 tips. Hi, I'm Laura Forsick, Executive Director of space consulting firm Astrolytical and a space career coach. As of this recording, there is a major space event happening next week. Whether you have extensive experience networking in the space sector or you've never attended a space event before, these tips will help you to make the most of your networking experience. So, how do you feel when you think about networking? Networking gets a bad rep. Most people think that it's icky or one-sided or using other people for your own advantage. I have never seen it that way. Networking for me has always been a fun way to get to know new people and learn new things. But networking can be overwhelming, daunting even. Online networking has become a lot more commonplace over the past few years. As much as I love the ease and reach of online networking, nothing beats the face-to-face connection that you get from in-person networking. In-person networking is more memorable. It can lead to more emotions. It can have an ease of conversation that phone calls or video calls just don't have. Whether your networking conversation is in the hallway or over a meal or in a meeting or a networking event, make the most of your networking opportunities. Here are some tips to help make your networking successful. Tip number 1, be prepared. Do you know how you're going to introduce yourself? You don't need to memorize an elevator pitch. In fact, you'll usually say something different in the moment anyway. But it really does help to decide how you're going to present yourself and what key information you want the other person to come away with in the first seconds or minutes of meeting you. When you make the decision ahead of time about how you're going to introduce yourself, you won't hesitate or stumble over your words or be at a loss for words in the moment. But please don't write and memorize a monologue. Less is more when you're first meeting somebody. Most of the time, I just start with, "Hi, I'm Laura." Only as the conversation progresses will I continue to introduce myself and my work, depending on how the conversation flows. But the key is that I've already decided ahead of time how I'm going to talk about myself and my business so that the words flow naturally. Don't forget basics like business cards. If you don't have one from your company or organization, you can make your own. By preparing as much of your messaging and delivery ahead of time, you'll be ready to start conversations from the moment you arrive. Tip number 2, be proactive. Identify people that you want to meet with and reach out to them ahead of time, preferably before the conference starts. You can get an idea of who is attending a conference by looking at the speaker and exhibit lists. Some individuals even post on LinkedIn and elsewhere that they're attending a certain event. Or you can reach out and ask someone if they're attending an event, especially if they've previously attended. Arrange times ahead of time to meet with people. Conferences are packed with talks and activities. And even if it's not feasible to set a meeting time, at least they will know that you are attending and you're interested in speaking with them. The more people that you reach out to ahead of time and indicate your interest in meeting with them, the higher the likelihood that you will meet with all the people that you want to speak with. Tip number 3, be inquisitive. I'm a scientist. I don't know if it's because of my scientific training or that I chose science because I naturally ask a lot of questions. But I find that asking questions is the best way to learn. Don't dominate conversations and make them all about yourself. Ask about the other person. Whether you are meeting someone for the first time or reconnecting with an old colleague or acquaintance, ask about them. Ask about their work. Talk less about you and more about them. You're not interrogating or interviewing them. It shouldn't be uncomfortable. But most people love to talk about themselves and what they're doing. Most of the time, they'll be happy to share information with you. Many people don't like networking because they see it as one-sided. Take. I've always seen networking as relationship building. You are getting to know another individual so that you can learn if you can be of service to them and if they can be of service to you. By being curious about the other person, you're getting to know who they are, what they do, and what they might need. And at the same time, you're making a positive connection with that person. Tip number 4, follow up. The relationship shouldn't end when the conference is over. If you want to get to know somebody and continue the conversation, follow up with them afterwards. Many people, myself included, are overscheduled at conferences. It's only after the event that I get a chance to really focus on who I met and what I learned. Maybe you met someone who you want to collaborate with, or get information from, or send information to, or talk about the latest sports game with. Whatever your reason for wanting to continue that professional relationship, follow up and keep that conversation going. The first good client that my company ever got was actually through following up after a space event. So I was new to the area and I was attending a space luncheon. At that event, I had a good conversation with someone who was leading a local space effort. And by following up with him after the luncheon, I was able to find out how my company could be involved and how we could be of service. Whether or not you have an immediate need to follow up with someone, by following up, you continue to expand your network and build those relationships over time. And finally, here's a bonus tip if you're just starting out. 5, be social. Try to go where others are gathering. That could be the hallway or lobby. That could be the hotel bar or restaurant. That could be an event outside of the conference venue. Most conferences have informal get-togethers after the day's planned events are done. And some of the best networking is done in casual environments. Here's something you might not know. If you are a representative of a sponsoring organization or an invited speaker or a member of the organizing team, you might be invited to special exclusive networking opportunities. So take advantage of those. And if you are not on any of those lists, you might want to find your way to get on those lists, either by becoming a sponsor, volunteering to organize an event or to run an event, or in some other way, find a way to be labeled as VIP. If you are an introvert, pace yourself. You do not need to become an extrovert to succeed in networking at events. You just need to be strategic about how you spend your time and energy. You'll have more opportunities to network if you are social, so take advantage of those opportunities while you have them. Do you know how to start and carry on networking conversations with people you've just met? Are you intimidated or anxious with talking with people you've never met before, especially higher profile individuals? Do you even know who to network with? If you would like any assistance in learning how to network or advance your space career, reach out to me. As a space career coach, I help my clients decide who they're going to speak with, what they're going to say, and how to follow up afterwards, among other things. I am happy to speak with you about your situation and goals. Subscribe to this channel to get more space career tips and space industry insights. And visit lauraforsick.com to subscribe to my email list and get space career tips right in your inbox. Thanks for watching.